And welcome back to Fox 54 Sports Extra. Mo Carter here with a man who needs no true introductions. It's Mr. Curtis Simon, the president of HBCUGo, and one of the many men who was responsible for bringing the Alabama A&M versus Tuskegee game, which is homecoming on the Hill, to his network this weekend for a great contest. Mr. Simons, first question, what made you decide to select this game to be on your network this weekend?
Well, I think it's a combination, Mo. We're a team effort. I have to really give it to my team of Charlie Neal, one of the greatest announcers in the black college sports business, and Kurt Symonds, who really put their heads together and start doing, some HBCU homecomings in this year's season since we're doing doubleheaders. And I think the choice of Alabama A&M against Tuskegee was special. They're our first homecoming kicking off on the network in a great market, Huntsville, Alabama. I think it couldn't have a better house to come into on Saturday.
Speaking of HBCUGo, of course, HBCUGo is the secondary media partner for several HBCU conferences, including the Southwestern Athletic Conference, aka the SWAC, and you and your team were able to strike this deal last year. Can you kind of give me some background as far as how this happened and what were the inner workings between individuals like you and Dr. Charles McClellan?
Well, hats off to Dr. Charles McClellan and Brian Hicks, who is his assistant commissioner, who've done a great job of seeing the vision of bringing a great partnership together. As anything, one of the coups of my boss, Byron Allen, is he wants 10-year deals. Because what we want to try to do is lock down black college sports. And what better way to start a 10-year deal with no other network, no other conference than the SWAC. And, Charles and I really had a good conversation getting it started. We had a couple hiccups down the road, but like anybody does. But it's been a great partnership. And the word he used at Media Day at SWAC is to me, the word that I continue to carry on in my conversations about. It was a game changer. It was a game changer because, here we are, AMG, with a lot of different properties. We have a syndication group, and now you're being broadcast all over the country on different broadcast stations. We have a linear group, which is our Griot channel, and then you have the digital side, which is HBCUGo. So if you can hit those three animals, which we're doing with it, it just gives the conference so much exposure. The feedback we're getting from the community has been fantastic, because now what we wanted to build, Mo, was a destination. No longer people have to go there guessing, like, what time does this game come on? Is it going 2 a.m? Oh, by the way, I just happened to see the Tuskegee, Alabama game show up. Now people know, at this time, boom, on HBCUGo, this is what you're going to see. And that's what we're building, a destination. But I think that you have others within the circle of the black college sports, also within the SWAC, that are also setting the same principles and showing people that, these conferences are not going away. They're going to get better. Once you get a student on the campus, that turns the world around. And once they're able to, now the first question when a coach is recruiting them, now they're saying, well, are you on television? We're on HBCUGo Sports. No longer are they stumbling, bumbling, saying, well, I don't know, we're working on the deal. We don't know what this is going to happen. Oh, we can only be seen in a local market. No. You're going to be seen nationally. We're now in 70% of television households, Mo, 80% of black households. Between John Kelly doing the analyst and Charlie doing the play-by-play, and our sideline folks, I think, and people in the trucks and all, we're bringing you a quality product, Mo.
And look, I'll get you out here on this one. Of course, you've had a great relationship and a friendship with the great Charlie Neal. And, most people will be like, voice of a generation, but I'm pretty sure Charlie Neal expands at least 3 or 4 generations. How important was it to have him on board to make sure that he was the main guy calling great HBCU action each and every week, just like he did back in the day for BET?
I think, Mo, it was very important. Charlie and I have had a running relationship for over 20 plus years, and I respect Charlie because of his history and his legacy. I'm working down the road, and I'll give you the first to know this, I'm working down the road somewhere to build a documentary around his life, because Charlie is a legend in black college sports. I've never been able to travel with Charlie, but not just people of color coming up to him, white people coming up to him saying, they followed Charlie for so long. They know about Charlie. You know, he is a well-known voice in the broadcast business, and he brings a plethora of history to the table. Last week in our Grambling Texas Southern game, Charlie went back to the early '60s, talking about, you know, certain players that he had covered over the years, and brought us back up to the 2000s. You know, that's just how much knowledge this man has. So it was very, very important to have him as part of, you know, the HBCUGo sports product. Very, very important moment.
Awesome. We want to thank Mr. Curtis Simon, the president of HBCUGo, for joining us right here on Fox 54. Stay tuned. We got more from the show next.